You know, back in 2000, around 18, GVM didn't used to be a threat against other companies like Aperture, Godox. They were like killing the game with continuous light. But now, with the launch of their new Pro lights that have Bowen mounts attached to them, which are more affordable, and their new Pro line is actually all bicolor also, if I'm not mistaken. They are definitely entering the arena for pro filmmakers. No, I did not get paid to say that. And in fact, I always turn down companies because I don't want any strings attached. Like, it has to be something that I think I'm going to benefit from and my audience is going to benefit from. I want to be sure that I can freely give you guys my honest opinion before we get into the weeds and specs. And I want to highlight a few cool features about this light. Let's jump into it. Now, I will tell you one thing. One of the biggest reasons why I'm glad that I partnered with GVM is because I've been looking for a really, really good continuous light. Now, I do have a lot of Aperture lights and some other lights. The light that you're looking at me on right now is the 120D by Aperture, which is a 120 watt light. But I love that it has the control box and everything. But when you start to do things, when you start to get a little bit creative, first of all, it's daylight only, so you can't adjust it. And I'm going to get into all that also. But having a bicolor light, listen to me, if you are a YouTuber, having a bicolor light is better. It is definitely better than having daylight lights. All right, and I'm going to try to hint on that as we go through. But to have a 300 watt light, you know, and we're going to get into the weasels because we're talking about having a grid on your softbox, having no grid, the power shooting in like S-Log, and a lot of different things that impact the amount of light that you have to use, and the power of that light. And I know some of you guys out there have to boost these things, you know, 70 almost to 100%, especially if it's only like a 100 watt light or a 120 watt light. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't use grids, because 120 watt lights, it's less powerful. And, you know, putting that grid on there to help control that light also, you know, kind of takes away some of that power. So we're definitely going to get into that. But first, let's go over a few things. All right, now this thing is beautiful. This is the GVM SD 300B Pro light from their Pro line, with the B standing for bicolor. Now, just to let you know, I love bicolor lights, all right? Especially if I'm in the studio or doing a YouTube video versus using my daylights. Most of that reason is, like right now, I'm using my 120D. Having a powerful 300 bicolor light to match like the room ambient is just better. All right, you're not stuck with that one like 5600 Kelvin or whatever your daylight is. You know, just being able to adjust it to match the lights in the room, your skin color, like everything. Bicolor is by far better with the ability to match the lights and complement the skin tones. All right, so what are some of these things that I love about the new GVM 300B Pro Series? Well, this has a fan control, all right? You can select between 3 different types of modes, all right? You can select between smart, high, and silent. I hate when I can hear fan noise in my videos. So I was very happy to know that GVM put this feature in here with smart mode, all right? The light will basically automatically pick the appropriate fan speed, all right, based on the light settings that you have chosen. I like using smart mode, all right, because I prefer my fan noise to be constant. That way it's much easier to remove the fan noise in post. In high mode, about 60 dBA at about a ½ inch away from the unit, which is really good considering how how bright these lights get. Now, silent mode is a little deceiving, all right, because the fan doesn't turn off completely. But when I measured the noise, it was only measuring about 30 to 40 dBA, all right, which is super quiet. So I don't have any concerns about using this fan as a key light in my studio in silent mode at maximum power. So I was super happy to see the fan control is being included on their professional lights. I think it is a win, and I definitely think something that they should have put on. So I'm glad about that. The second feature that I was happy and somewhat surprises me here is frequency control. Now I had to look this up and do research on this myself, but frequency control, for those of you that don't know, LED lights are driven by a process called PWM. Basically, repeated PWM is the light pulses. The light pulse is on and off at a certain frequency that is, of course, undetectable by the human eye. So now the longer the light pulse stays on, the brighter the light is perceived by us. Know that if that frequency isn't chosen correctly, with video and photo in mind, that's when you get that flickering or banding in your videos or photos. So GVM has given us the ability to specifically dial in the frequency for whatever shutter speed that we're using. And I think it's a really cool feature, and it's really nice, especially for a lot of you guys that do a lot of professional work with LED and continuous lights. I'm definitely going to dive more into this when I replace my 120D, just to play around with frequency and make sure we get things cleaned up and stuff. But for a lot of you guys that are on big sets, that's amazing for their pro line. Next we have the dimming curve. Now I have this on my other aperture lights out there also, and I think this is really cool. But I don't use it a lot. I don't think I need it. But dimming curve has become a pretty common thing among LED lights. It is basically the ability to change the dimming curve of the light, and you have 4 modes to choose from. You have like linear, exponential, you have logarithmic, you have S-curve on the 300B. It also has what they call studio mode, which allows the light to remember the settings between power cycles. Seems like a pretty simple thing, but it's pretty important because you don't want to be having to reset up your light every time you want to shoot, especially if you're using it in a controlled environment that you use over and over and over again. So if you take the light, you move it here, you don't want to have to go through that. So I think that is awesome. Overall, the build quality, man, listen, boy, this thing has a fully aluminum chassis. All right, it's built like a tank. All right, I love the red anodized finish. It looks super cool too, and of course red is my favorite color, so bam, scores a point with me. And I think they're just really well made, really well done. All right, it has a OLED screen, okay, right back here on the back, and I love the light, and I love the GVM logo. Love that GVM logo. The 300B, I think it supports 8 and 16 to DMX control for those of you operating in more like production settings. And it comes with a super high quality case. I love these cases. I love the padding. A lot of times you can just put stuff in here and take these out on your shoots if you want to, just in case you don't want to take anything big. Love the cases, the very, very high quality cases. Now I know I talked about a bunch of great things about this light. Now let me tell you about some of the things I didn't like. Now, one of the cons is it doesn't accept V-mount batteries. You can't take it on location to power it. It doesn't accept V-mount batteries. So that was kind of a disappointment with this being a 300 watt light. This is perfect for on location. It's not too big, it's not too small. So that was a ugh. The second thing that I found is that there's no external box. It would just be nice to have a control box down there to control the light near the ground. Now, I do have the app that I can use, but still, sometimes it's just nice to have that control box right there while I don't have to bring out the app, log in, and do all that stuff. The good news is that the SD, the 400, and lights above the 300 all come with a control box. And they include V-mount batteries. It's just like the 200 and the 300 watt versions that do not have a control box or V-mount battery capability. So if an external control box and a V-mount battery is important to you, then you need to go ahead and jump up to like the 400 or any other lights above that. All right. So that's pretty much the 300B in a nutshell Pro. I'm definitely going to take down my 120D and throw this up there. Just to get into a few other specs with the 300B, it is a 300 watt bicolor LED. It has a CRI or TLCI readings of 97 plus, and it has a maximum brightness output about 49,200 LUTs at about 0.5 meters away, and it has a color temperature range from 2700K up to 6800K. So you're going to get really good colors out of this thing. They're not going to be pretty much washed out. You have a really nice Kelvin range to work with. It has also something called source mode, which allows you to select between 12 different predetermined scenes, very similar to like picking a white balance preset on your camera mode. It also has 12 building effects like lightning, candle, light paparazzi, stuff like that. That's also something that has become pretty common on LED and continuous lights, just in case you want to set those scenes. Again, this also lets you control it via the mobile app. Like I said before, the chassis is full aluminum, and it has a standard Bowens mount on the end to help you mount your Bowens mount soft boxes to soften up that light. That's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review of this SD300B. Big shout out to GVM for sending me this. Of course, they don't see this video before I post it. They don't get any say so in what I think or say about these things. As I stated before, this is definitely going to go ahead and become my main YouTube light. All right, this is definitely going to become my main YouTube light because now, like I said, with the bicolor capabilities, I can adjust the light, adjust my skin tones and everything. I just love that. It allows me to match the ambient light in the room. Now, I know I talked about the control box earlier, right? But, you know, for something like this, when you have this like in your studio setup, boomed over, you know, you're standing and everything, the absence of a control box and V-mount battery is kind of non-existent because you don't really need it. But again, they are great options. But having 300 watts instead of 120 gives you more lights, which means it gives you room to use larger soft boxes and make a softer light. Now, you can pick up the SD300B on Amazon and any other outlets for $389. Now, they also comes with a kit that gives you like a stand and a soft box. But yeah, for $389, 300 watt bicolor pro light, dimming curves, you know, fan control, all the things that you get with this light, dude, it is a no-brainer. But again, it's 300 watts and it's a bicolor light, and I love it, man. This is dope. So the links to this will be in the comment section below. Go get you one, man. If you've been looking for a really good continuous light, you don't really want to break the bank with anything else, GVM has a great app to control lights. Maybe you already have GVM products already, and you want to link everything up together. This links with the rest of your lights also. It is your boy Brandon, aka the Kevin Hart of Photography, and I will see you in the next video. Holla. We out.
5 minutes later.
Do it.